Chief Edwin Clark, thank you for having us in your place today. You're one of the foremost Nigerian nationalists, and in year 2010, you were one of the first people that spoke about Jonathan contesting for the president of the nation, even when people are saying this is the time for the northern part of Nigeria to produce a president. Why are we going to allow Jonathan to break a promise in the PDP?
Thank you. Well, I've always been, I'm sorry, last time you came you didn't see me, but I do hope we'll have some time together. I think sometimes politicians do not want to speak the truth about anything. I'm surprised when I hear of Atiku, Babangida, and even Saraki talking about zoning, President President Jonathan not being sincere or not keeping to the rules and so on. That's a moral honor and so on. I laughed. In the first place, there was the zoning, in fact, that's reflected in the constitution of PDP under section 7.2 also, has nothing to do with North and South. If you look at the constitution under section 7, there's nothing about zoning saying that there will be zoning between the North and the South. There's nothing like that. All that is said is that there should be, for equity and other things, and in the interest of everybody, there should be zoning of offices, of government official offices and party offices. That's what is said. It did not say zoning between the North and the South. It will be recalled in 1914, Lord Lugard brought in North and South together, and we have a united Nigeria. That was the time. But in 1947, under the Richardson Constitution, 3 regions were created. The Northern region, the Eastern region, and the Western region, including Lagos. So if you are talking about zoning, there were 3 zones at that time. Then under the late Abacha, 6 zones were created. Northwest, Northeast, and North Central in the North. Southwest, South-South, and Southeast in the South. So if anything needs to be zoned at all, it should be between these 6 zones, and not between North and South, which has been the problem of Nigeria for a long time now. People in the North, most of them think that they are North, and therefore, everything that they're talking about South, their reaction may be, and vice versa. So, if there was to be a zoning of offices, it should be zoned between the 6 geopolitical zones in this country. And to demonstrate this, when the late President Yaradua was appointing ministers, he appointed 36 ministers representing each of the states, 36 states, are provided for in the Constitution. Then he went further to appoint 6 ministers, each representing each of the zones. In fact, it was at that time the issue of Olubebe from the South-South. So Olubebe was appointed minister representing South-South. There were other ministers representing other areas. Jonathan has repeated that the same way. So as far as I'm concerned, there is no zoning between the North and the South. in the constitution of Nigeria, of PDP.
But the issue is now generating a lot of tension in the country, and people are saying that if we have Jonathan emerge as PDP candidate, it might lead to either an implosion of the PDP or there might be crisis. And
what crisis? When did not rule Nigeria for 38 years, from 1958 to this time? There was no crisis in this country. When the West ruled this country for 12 years and above, there was no crisis in this country. It was only the East that ruled for 6 months. We in the South Side, we have never ruled. We have not. Even though we produce 90% of the economy of this country, we were not. Are we second class in this country? What has happened is God's intervention. We are very sorry that the president died. The same northerner said that it was Obasanjo who imposed Yaradua on them. It wasn't their choice. No northerner was talking about zoning until the governors manipulated Obolafo, Vincent Obolafo, who was then the national chairman of PDP. The question of zoning did not arise.
But
if you listen,
okay.
If you remember, in 2005, 2006, or even 5, Dr. Peter Odili, former governor of Rivers State, Accident Obongata, former governor of Akwa Ibom, Donald Duke, former governor of Cross River, Admiral Higbe, Chief A.K. Hotford. These people campaigned all over the north. I was the leader of South People's Assembly, SSPA. We sent delegations to Northwest, Northeast, and North Central to say, this time around is our turn. And there was nobody in the north who said that it is our turn.
Professor Ango Abdullahi.
No, listen.
Professor Ango Abdullahi.
Listen, let me go on.
I just want to bring your attention to this.
Yeah.
Professor Ango Abdullahi, in a paid advertisement sometimes ago, claimed that you were part of the series of meetings in which zoning was discussed. He even said that you never nominated Goodluck Jonathan as the representative of the South region. I'm
very sorry indeed. A professor, a former vice chancellor of a university should lie, should be very unscrupulous. I'm very sorry. Professor Ango Abdullahi is a supporter of Liu Gso. That was the candidate he wanted. Yeah. When the Northern Union, founded by Saraki at the time, of which Ango Abdullahi was a member, came to us in Warri, and we discussed. They said they wanted the presidency of the North after Obasanjo. We said no, we wanted it because we have never had it, and we are producing 90%. Our area is neglected. We are dehumanized. Injustice is being done. We are being marginalized. This time, if we are Nigerian, it's the time for the South.
Understanding that, I want to bring your attention to...
No, I'm coming.
Sorry, sir. This
excuse me, you told me that, he even said I never wanted...
that you didn't nominate...
I didn't nominate. He's a liar, a first-class liar. Who was the president we wanted to be the vice president? I played a leading role in the nomination of Jonathan as the vice president. So that is... If it is between me, Obasanjo, and the PDP hierarchy, the Yaradua wanted me to recommend a candidate for him, who will become the vice president. Odili was nominated by Obasanjo, but one thing went wrong, and in reading the acceptance speech of Yaradua, Yarabra now found that, now read that I shall appoint my running mate after due consultation with the elders of the party. It was at that juncture, that morning of Sunday, that Yarabra sent some people to me, whether I could help him to get someone. And I know that if I nominate somebody, he will take it to Mr. President. And that's what happened. I nominated Jonathan. So Abdullah is a liar. No. There was no time we talked about individual. No. And there was no time we accepted to nominate a vice president. We said we wanted the president of Nigeria and not the vice president.
Now, what is quite worrying is if you learn from what happened to the Yorubas in Southwest, where 8 years of the Obasanjo presidency did not bring any significant change to the people of the Southwest, what gives you the confidence that 4 years of Jonathan presidency would alleviate the problem, the very terrible problem of the people of Niger Delta? Oil spillage, children cannot go to school, fishermen cannot fish. Do you not think that Jonathan would behave like his former, the elder Chief Obasanjo? And are you sacrificing the struggle of the Niger Delta people for a Jonathan presidency?
I think you have been uncharitable. I think you have been unkind to President Olusegun Obasanjo, that he did not do anything for the Yorubas. In what
the roads in the south, even
which,
the road,
which road, which were the roads he did in other places?
So he was not, he didn't do well for the whole country then.
So you can say people will have different opinion, but in the pace of capacity development, human development, there were more Yorubas in the government of Obasanjo than any other place. Having regard to the fact that in the first 4 years of Obasanjo, you didn't vote for him. You voted for AD. The people who voted for him were the Southern minority and Northern minorities. They voted mostly for him.
So how are you going to hold President Jonathan accountable to make sure that the terrible situation in the Niger Delta does not?
Do you forget that even now Chief Bafemi Awolowo said if he was given the presidency of Nigeria for 1 day, it would make difference. Wait. Not that Jonathan is president of the whole of Nigeria. He's not president of South. He's not president of Niger Delta. But he is wearing the shoes. And he will know where the shoes pinch him.
What is different?
And I believe that, given the opportunity, he would be able to carry the neglect of the South or the Niger Delta. He will be able to bring it to a minimum. We are not saying that in 4 years he will do magic. He will try his best while developing other parts of Nigeria. He is not the type that will neglect other parts of Nigeria in order to develop the South, or the Niger Delta.
You seem to have a lot of confidence on the president. What is different about this president, sir?
President Jonathan. Let me take. Jonathan is sent by God. Let me tell you two things. I was joking about them last night. This is the 50th anniversary of 50th Golden Jubilee of Nigeria, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
It is.
Okay. Jonathan fits into that. Good luck, Jonathan. Golden Jubilee. You see the names? Oh, you're not making a point.
You are making a point.